It's round 6 of the Norway Chess Tournament 2022, and today there was only one decisive result in the classical stage, and that was in this game played between Magnus Carlsen and Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. Here Carlsen is white and opens with knight to f3, so black has a lot of choices here. He can go for c5, d5 or knight to f6. Mamedyarov chooses d5, g3, g6. Here white will get a fianchetto setup. Black also does the same thing, and this kind of becomes like a symmetrical position. But here white plays c4 and breaks the symmetry. Now black has to play c6 and defend the pawn. Knight to c3, d into c4. Here black gains a pawn, but now white gains access to the center. e4. Here black trades the knight. Here you cannot go back because then there would be g4 and your bishop would be trapped. So he trades the knight and goes e5. So he loses the pawn but gains it quickly, and now his pieces are more active. e6. White doesn't give the pawn easily. He creates this weakness on e6. Bishop to e3, and here black played queen to e7. Now here at this very same position, Carlsen seconds, Daniel Dubov and Jordan Van Forest both had achieved this position a few years ago in one of their games. And here their opponent had played knight to e5 and they both played bishop to e2 here. So maybe this was Carlsen's preparation. But here Mamedyarov decides to go to e7. So they might have prepared this also. Bishop to g2, knight to a6, queen to e2 attacks the pawn. Black doesn't defend the pawn but goes for activity. Here he forks the rook and the bishop. And here if you just defend your rook, then you'll have double pawns which are not good. So white finds the resource, knight to d5 and then takes the knight back. d4, bishop to d2, rook a c8, queen b3, knight to c5, queen to a3, queen to d7, rook a to c1. Now putting some pressure on this knight, b6, and here white sacrifices another pawn. Now he could have gone f4 and e5 also, but he decides to go in a forcing way. Now he develops his rook, plays b4, knight to a4 and trades the rooks, and plays queen to b3, attacks the pawn. Here black goes knight to c3, he doesn't defend this pawn, so white takes it. Here black is looking for some activity here. King to h8, he moves out of this discovered attack. King h2, and now he trades the rooks. Queen to c4, h6, a3. Black pushes his pawns further. Bishop to f1, queen f8, king g2, knight to e4. So here white has the two bishops and his pawn structure here on the king side is good. On the queen side this pawn is unprotected, but black has more unprotected pawns. Bishop to e1 defends his bishop, and here black collects a pawn. Bishop to d3, knight to d6. So here he's sacrificing a lot of pawns for activity. From the opening we see he's just trying to gain some activity here. Queen to a6, now he's going to get the pawn back. Knight to f5, h4, h5. He takes the pawn. King h7, queen to b5. They try on for some time. White searches for an advantage here. White is just hoping black will do a blunder. Here black has 4 minutes 49 seconds, that's almost 5 minutes, and Carlsen has 17 minutes. So they play on for some time, queen to c6, and here Mamedyarov, having 2 minutes, plays queen to b3, and this is a mistake. Can you find out why? Yes, it is because of bishop into g6 check. Here you cannot take this free knight because then black would also take your bishop. But after bishop into g6 you gain a pawn, and now this king is weak, and also these two pawns are also not defended by any other pawns and they are isolated. Queen to d7, king g6. Again white keeps moving his pieces and just tries to convert the position. He gains another pawn, and here Mamedyarov resigns because these 3 pawns are too strong. This pawn is going to promote into a queen, but it can easily be stopped, and even if not, this bishop can be sacrificed, and these 3 pawns are a lot to win the game. Moving on to the standings. So Magnus Carlsen is on top with 12.5 points, 1 point ahead of Vishwanathan Anand, and Wesley So is in the 3rd spot with 10 points. So there are a lot more rounds to come. Let's see what happens there. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Edrick Vaz Chess. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.